morning?
You, bro.
What am I doing? Yo, you just sat there and just started.
Let's
Right.
talk.
Talk
Let's
about what?
talk.
We
Let's
just
talk.
talked.
So what's up, Slim? She was in her corner. But before that, like, she was not in her corner. She was like bucking all types of shit.
We already talked. What do you
No,
need
we
to talk
didn't.
about?
So my channel is your girl Trishay, and I'm so happy to be your host once again. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a let's talk about version of Baddies South on the most recently released episode with the team name. What was the team name again? Hide and Seek. Yes. So if this is something you're very much interested in getting a scoop on, I have some things I've already penned down, like some things that I felt like, you know, were worthy topics, you know, topics worthy enough to like actually have a discussion on. So yeah, we're going to talk about them. So disclaimer, if you haven't watched this episode, I'm sorry, but I mean, it doesn't mean you can't still get a scoop on you know, the topics, or you can't get a scoop on the episode based on, you know, the topics that are being discussed. But you know, like I said, this video is somewhat different from my usual videos. In this video, I'm not giving a rundown. I'm basically talking about certain things that happened in certain scenarios, right, that, like I said, are worthy enough to be spoken on. So yeah, if you would be very much interested in having this conversation with me, let's hop into the next video. First session of our Can We Talk About would be, you know, first of all, we're gonna start with like the first scenario of that episode, which of course was the fight between Roly, Polly, and Natalie. So I'm just gonna give you just a little bit of a summary. So basically, if you hadn't, you know, seen my previous video, Brie had kind of like invited Roly and Slim over to the house after they had kind of like split. And yeah, they came over and they tried to have a conversation. And you know, apparently what I thought was a feud between Roly and Scotty was actually a feud between Roly and Natalie, for reasons best known to Roly. Because if you had watched my previous video, I kept saying that I was very, very confused as to how the whole blame shifted to Natalie, how it was all Natalie's fault, according to Roly. But yeah, so basically they had a fight. They tried to have a conversation that, you know, resulted in a physical altercation, of course, between Roly and Natalie. Now, there are some certain things that happened in this scene that, you know, I couldn't really wrap my head around, and we're just gonna like, you know, touch base on them very quickly because I'm not trying to like make this video long. Okay, so the first thing I would like us to talk about is, you know, the fact that, you know, Roly kept calling or kept saying that Natalie looked like wap waps.
Bitch, I got hair. You bald-headed bitch. You look like wap wap. You look like wap. Look at you.
In my head, I was like, come on, like, leave Wap Wap alone. So in case you don't know who Wap Wap is, Wap Wap was like, you know, a cast member on the One More Chance show, obviously. And in that show, Roly and Wap Wap had some kind of misunderstanding and got into it as well. And I can remember very vividly in that particular scene, after the whole fight, Roly had snatched Wap Wap's wig, and it was just left with, like, Wap Wap was just left with her wig cap on, basically, and some parts of her, like, you know, hair, underneath hair showing. So like that was almost the same, you know, thing here. And I, maybe because I was trying to like connect the dots as to why Roly kept saying that Natalie looked like wap wap, you look like wap wap. So like it was very much like later, after doing like some amount of thinking, that I realized, okay, this is the reason why she keeps saying this. But then at the same time, I was like, come on, Roly, whatever beef or feud you have with Wap Wap was like how many seasons ago? Like, why disturb the young or old woman, however old she is? But like, you know, come on, leave Wap Wap alone, basically. Also, another thing I want us to talk about is the fact that Roly had the audacity to pick up Scotty's phone to use it as an object to throw at Natalie. Like, Scotty's iPhone though. Like, you know what, when this particular thing happened, I immediately had to like ask a friend of mine who was as at that point with me sitting beside me. I was like, if it was you, if you were Scotty, what would you have done at that particular instant? So as at that point in time in the episode, Scotty obviously was, I think she charged or tried to charge at Rolly, but got held back by the guards, like the security guards. And you know, like I said, my friend was actually with me when I was seeing this episode, and I actually had to ask him, because it's actually him, ask him what he would have done if he was Scotty. And he was like, he gave this very, very evil laughter, and that evil laughter just like, he gave it all, because like, I'm like, bro, you cannot dare to try to use my phone as an object for your fight. Don't you dare. Because like, I was like, Rolly. And it's the fact that even after the whole, you know, thing played out, I never for once got an apology from Rolly to Scotty. Instead, what I got from Rolly was a question as to why even try to charge at her, or basically because what Rolly asked very much later, or what the question that Rolly threw at Scotty very much later was, why was she trying to charge at her? And I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me that the fact that you just threw her phone, her, not just any phone, her iPhone, do you know how much an iPhone costs? Hello? Like, the fact, I don't want to know whether you can afford it. You have no right throwing, whether it's an Android, a Nokia, whatsoever make or brand, like, you have no right throwing some or using someone's phone as some kind of object in your fight. Like, that was so shallow and like very, very low of Rolly. Honestly, I was so disappointed, I have to say. Can we also talk about the fact that Krishan couldn't pick any other time to start a ruckus with Slim, but the same time, very much after Natalie had just gotten into it with Rolly. Because if you've seen that episode, I'm sure you already know what the events that escalated to Sean trying to like pick up some kind of fight with Slim, when apparently Slim hadn't even done anything to her. So basically, it was like at exactly what Scotty said during her narrative. It was like, you know, it was like a rush in adrenaline for Sean, because I mean, at that particular point in time, Sean had no reason whatsoever to even try to enact a fight between herself and Slim, especially when Slim hadn't even like made any direct, but she hadn't even made even an indirect, like, you know, comment, you know, to Sean. So like, I was like, why do you always have to, you know, want to be involved in fights, Sean? Like, you know, I would prefer to like see Sean in a better light at some point. Like, it doesn't always have to be you wanting to always jump in, or wanting to always fight, or wanting to always, you know, like, come on, like, be the peacemaker for once though. Yeah, still in this very particular moment. Now is the fact that obviously, if you had watched like the previous episodes, Slim and Sean had already kind of like gotten into it, and it's very well known to everyone that Sean beat Slim's ass very, very, very well. So like, I feel like, you know, and I mean, she had even sustained a couple bruises in that fight. I'm talking about Slim now. So like, I was hoping that, you know, with all of that, she would have been sensible enough to like just ignore Sean, even though Sean was kind of like instigating a fight. I was hoping, because, you know, when Sean had started the whole talking or instigating, Slim was so loud, but at the same time hiding behind security guards. So like, I'm like, how can you be so loud and not be willing to rumble? Like, if you know you don't have the strength to like go in for a fight, you should use that same energy and keep your mouth shut. And I think there was something Slim, there was something Slim said that, if you ask me, was not just very awkward, but very embarrassing for her.
Like, get the fuck out of my face!
You're scared.
Oh my.
You're scared.
No.
You're a bitch.
Okay.
Straight up.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
Fuck.
I'll be
You're
a bitch and I'm that bitch. Yeah, bitch.
What the fuck did she just say? Honestly. But yeah, so I'm like, if you're not willing to like go in, especially because you know that you're gonna get beaten up a second time, shut up. Because even after the whole, even after, I think after everything had, like, I wouldn't say died down, but I would say that after obviously she was protected by the security guys, so like, after like the whole thing had kind of like eased out a bit, she went outside, right? And she kept talking mad shit. So I was like, what is wrong with you? You don't even have the strength to actually like engage in this fight, but you have the widest mouth, like you have the most to say, right? The person that is charging at you is not even saying so much. She's just really willing and ready to go in. Like, she doesn't even want to exchange words. She just wants to go in. And like and I think this goes a long way to say, like, the ones with the loudest backs are the same ones with no bites, little or no bite at all. Next scenario, can we talk about the fact that Natalie was still able to hang out with the girls even after going in with Rolly? Like, I was like, damn, Natalie, you deserve an accolade, because like I for one would not even bother about the girls after like going into such a fight with fat as Sean would say. Like, bro, I would so ignore all of them if it was me, because I mean, like, but for the fact that Natalie like still showed up and showed out for like the activity they had that night, even after going in with Rolly, I was like, over to you, girl. Like, yeah, that's a business-minded lady there. Like, come on, like, she's really after her bag, and I mean, I commend her for that. Like, she knows what she's after. Can we also talk about the camera guy? I mean, I never knew that it was also a Zeus thing to like record the girls taking a shower, because like, this is my first time in all the shows I have watched in Zeus or of Zeus that I see records of ladies or the cast members or having a shower. Like, this is my first time seeing that, so maybe that's why I'm actually like talking about it here, because I mean, I didn't know that was part of the show, because I mean, they really showed us Anne's ass in the bathroom while she was taking a shower, and I was like, hello Zeus, is this actually part of the show, or this is maybe one of the production guys that was probably hitting on Anne and was in the room or in her room at that particular point in time, and Anne was trying to be sexy and all, and I was like, yeah, you can video me and all of that, and probably he now decided to like, after everything was done, he decided to like make it part of the show. I'm just here wondering like what was going on, because I was confused. I mean, this is the first time it's not like I haven't seen naked girls, but I'm just saying, like, this is the first time I'm seeing such in a Zeus production. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying. The girls in the bus, when they were talking about everything that had gone down, Natalie had, basically told Scotty that she doesn't know how this fight escalated to involve her, because last time she checked, it was actually a fight that was supposed to be between Rolly and Scotty. And Scotty kept saying, or Scotty responded saying that, Rolly wasn't even mad at her, apparently, that Rolly was mad at Natalie. And, yeah, like, can we talk about that? Because, like I mentioned in my previous video, I still don't know why Rolly, for any reason, was mad at Natalie. According to Rolly, she said Natalie was the instigator, but, like, instigate what? What did she instigate between you and Scotty exactly? Because the last time I checked, the argument or the misunderstanding was between Rolly and Scotty. So, like, where does Natalie come in? I don't know if you guys are watching something else, because I mean what I'm watching is saying otherwise. So over to the Bourbon Street, the girls are finally out in New Orleans, you know, out to have a good time. The first thing I'd like us to talk about is the fact that, you know, the last time I checked, you know, in the previous scene, that's when Rolly and Slim first arrived at the house after they were invited by Bree. You know, after the whole fight had gone down, Rolly and Slim, especially Slim, but even most especially Rolly, kept saying that they were out, they were done, they wanted nothing to do again with the show and all of that. They had better things to do. Rolly for one said she had music to go back to. So like, can we talk about the fact that these same two ladies were in fact the first persons to arrive at the scene before the rest of the other ladies? So like, I was like, when I saw Rolly and Slim already there seated, I was like, okay, I thought you guys had better things doing other than fighting, according to you. So like, I was like, please help it make sense. What are you guys still doing here? I was expecting you to have probably been on your first flight back home, but like, I mean, here you are at Bourbon Street with the same girls you said you don't with. So like, I mean, I was like, you know, I don't know. So you know, the girls were like, after the girls had like, you know, coming, all the girls were gathered at the balcony. They started throwing beads out to like strangers on the street, and at first I was a little bit confused because I was like, who does that? Who throws? Because apparently they were throwing beads out and asking strangers to show some titties first before like they hand them some beads. So like, at first I was a little bit confused because I don't know what normal person does that. I mean, I know, like, you know, there's so many things you can do to like have fun, to like do, what did I say? So many things you can do in the name of fun, but like, you know, that particular thing right there was a little bit unsettling for me. But then, I mean, at some point I started asking, is it a New Orleans culture? I started asking myself if it's in New Orleans culture, because I don't think, I think that question got very much answered like very later, because I think I heard one of them mention that, yeah, that's something about, you know, in New Orleans, that's what they do, you know, you show some titties, get some beads. So probably it's part of the culture, or part of whatever they do there. But like, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But yes, I guess I finally answered my question myself. No, really at some point met up with the girls at the Bourbon Street, and they had a good time. They went into the streets exchanging beads for some flashes of titties, and they also you know, hung out with snakes. Yes. They had a good time. Can we talk about the very last scene of this episode, which is the scene when the girls were finally leaving the hotel at New Orleans, only for them to arrive at the lobby to find out that, you know, Sean was being arrested. Sean was actually being arrested by the U.S. Marshals, and of course this was because of the warrant she had at, you know, Oklahoma City. And yeah, she basically had like, she was on a hunt actually. And so like, all this time that, you know, if you had watched the previous episode, she didn't hang out with the girls because of the same reason, because of the fear of being caught by them. So it was at this particular episode that, you know, Sean got caught. And apparently, like, what I want us to talk about in this scene is the fact that I know that is a very hurtful thing. So, but like, I don't know, I feel like the way Sean was crying, I was trying so hard to, like, you know, sympathize, but at the same time, like, not like I'm wicked or evil or anything, but, you know, like, the way she was crying was like quite funny to me. And also, can we talk about the fact that she was not just crying but wailing for Jayla, asking Jayla to come? I don't know basically what she was saying, but like, because it was kind of muffled since they'd already taken her into the car and all of that. But like, she kept continuously calling for Jayla. So like, it just took me back to those days for me when I was in primary school, when my mom wants to drop me off at school and I begin to cry for my mom, "Mommy, no, don't leave me." So like, I was like, bro. It was a little bit funny, but like, yeah, that was actually a very serious situation, so please don't mind me. It's just that, you know, sometimes certain things, they looking, I don't know, hilarious to me. But like, yeah, like I said, that was quite serious for Sean. But then also, can we talk about the fact that before she was even taken into the car by the US marshals rather, they kept throwing a blanket over her head. So I'm like, what exactly are they trying to cover though? Like, what are you covering? I mean, like, it didn't really make any sense to me. But let me know, maybe, I don't know how you guys operate on your side in the US, but like, you know, let me know what, if that's how it's done. Okay guys, so this brings us to the end of our Can We Talk About, or Let's Talk About version of Baddies South on the episode Hide and Seek. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead to give me a thumbs up, give the channel a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead to subscribe, share, spread the good news about this channel. Come on, support the channel. And yeah, if you love this video, let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see or watch more videos like this. If you prefer this Let's Talk About version to the full rundown, because I know most of my rundowns are a little bit lengthy because I'm trying to like give you in details everything that happened. But like, yeah, if you prefer this Let's Talk About version instead, let me know in the comment section, and my subsequent videos will be, you know, and will be according to your taste. Okay, so yeah, I'll see you in the next video.